You're listening to This Week in Property. Stay current, relevant and up to date in the world of property investment. Learn from the UK's leading property professionals and grow your property business.
Hello and welcome to today's episode of This Week in Property. I'm your host Richard Swan, and in today's show we're going to be tackling the subject of people, as in dealing with people, managing staff, outsourcing, connecting, all sorts of subjects round about people because it's something we have to deal with. And to get stuck into that very important topic, let's find out who our guest is today. I had her on the show a couple of weeks ago, the legend from Platinum and ALG, from deepest, darkest Englandshire. We've flown her up, the lovely Jan Alexander. Good morning, Jan.
Good morning, Richard.
You're all good?
Very good, thank you.
Fantastic. You are the very lady for this subject, I'll tell you, with your experience in the corporate world, a vast and varied experience as well. There's one or two people you have to deal with and have to work with. So I think one of the cliches that's often brought up is that business would be a doddle if it wasn't for staff and customers. Is that correct to say?
Yes, most certainly. Yes.
It's so true, isn't it?
Yes.
And what are they? They're people. And the people listening in just now, the listeners, all different levels of their journey, different paths in their journey, maybe complete novices, just listening in and want to get involved with property. Some people very long in the tooth, maybe 30, 40 years as property investors, who knows. But they all have to deal with people. It might be the power team around them. They've got the builder to deal with. They've got their accountant, the tax advisor, the lawyer and so on. It might be staff. It might be actually people under them because they've built their business up to a level where they're dealing with staff. They've got people under them in an office and they've got them dealing with their social media stuff, or they've got them doing all the admin for the portfolio. Who knows what it could be. So it's actual employees of them, It could be customers from the point of view of investors. We seek to get funds from investors that we can then, joint venture with, that kind of stuff. There's a whole area that we have to deal with people. Would you say that it's key, that it's one of the key skills that you have to be successful?
Yes, most certainly. You have to become a people person. You have to also feel that you want to meet people. You also recognise that everyone is different. That's why I think to have a self-skill of understanding people, maybe again the intuition thing, you have to really create or build your experience of people, because also they have all different kinds of reactions. But if you structure or understand how people operate, say in a business environment, I think you can really crack how you speak and how you approach people. For instance, the key element of success with people is the relationship side. You cannot assume that whatever you need is going to happen in the first meeting.
Right.
You have to really think about perhaps having an initial meeting and maybe even listening to what they want, understanding their problems, but then you are the one that's in charge of this, of helping them achieve what maybe they want to achieve,
right?
Or if you want to achieve as a business person. So you need to say, okay, that was all great, we've made a really big step, could we meet again next week?
Right.
Because also, if you go on too long on the first meeting, it really does have a dive. It has a pattern of rising and then falling. You need to also regroup, prepare for your next meeting, and also think of it as not just a casual conversation. You need to achieve what you need to achieve out of it.
Right, so there is a structure there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is. But you don't have to say what that structure is. You know what it is. So, for instance, if you're looking at your power team, you want to maybe think about an accountant. Would that be a good start?
Definitely, yeah. Let's go there.
So my world is of image. I need for myself to present myself with first class approach, and it's usually over the top. But that's good because people get an element of surprise, because the majority of people don't approach meetings with any kind of shake hands, I'm here for a purpose. They sit down and they haven't thought it through. They haven't got their list of agenda, that they want to achieve and discuss. That is key. So you're looking for an accountant. He's also squaring you up.
Yeah.
So he doesn't want to take on anyone who's not of the right level.
Yeah.
So this is an out of comfort zone approach with an accountant, as opposed to, say, a builder, where you can perhaps have a different kind of approach. So you rock up at, you shake his hand, you've got the appointment, and you know what you want to talk about. And you know also that he is a tax property person. You've already done your diligence on him. You haven't just drawn him out the yellow pages or something.
Of course.
You know who this person is. So you need to impress as much as he will want to impress you, because obviously it's his business.
Yeah.
But this is probably one of the most difficult relationships, because also you've got to make sure it's a growing one. You're going to need him hugely for your business, and so therefore you need to maybe have an approach where it might be formal initially, but you need to be creating a relationship, a level where you can feel you can communicate. If that person doesn't give you that chemistry back, then he might not be the right one. You have to consider that you might meet somebody and say, he might not be for me.
Ah, right, okay.
Possibly.
Even if he's got the actual skills, the technical skills, the accountancy skills, it's just not a good fit. There's not a good energy between you, not a good relationship for the longer term. Is it that kind of thing?
Well, I'm not saying it's a black and white situation, but he may have staff, of course. And, you need to know that staff is there. You meet the people. You're asked to meet the people who are going to do the work for you. You need to visit, you need to get into their business as well, so that you understand and get a familiarity. It's all very well, isn't it? You want what you want. You want the figures. You want them to do your job for you. But to get a good job done is much better to approach all of this power team thing with a personal kind of approach. That's the right way, and you're building on that. So really, when you come to call a favour or something that you need quickly, they're going to say, "Oh, okay, yes, no worries." They know who you are.
Yeah, so you've stood out as one of their clients, have you? Right,
yes, I'm not a good person to be down the queue. I always like to be first in the queue.
Right.
I've always done that, and that's thanks to my father. When we were kids, he always kept that clock 15 minutes fast. And we never knew.
Brilliant. I should do that with my own daughters. I really should.
But all these kind of quirky things, they make you who you are. But really, in general terms, from the business part, I've seen people come to meetings and they're not prepared. That's the main thing. So you take the accountant, right? So the next power team member might be the builder. Okay, so that's the opposite. You still need to do your work. You still have this thought that you don't quite believe what he's saying. You have to test it out.
Sure.
Because they're going to sell themselves. Don't take it as face value. If and from that perspective, go and see a number of builders, number in each case, so that you can make a comparison. It's like selecting staff. They won't present a CV, but they will have had pictures maybe, or a history maybe of
Would
work.
you even ask to see some of their current works in progress as well?
I actually test their comfort zone.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. I say, well, I'd love to see where was your last job? What was your favourite job? What was the best thing you did? So really reach out, because you don't have to employ them unless you want to.
Yeah.
So let them work for their job.
Yes, that's a great mindset, position, and I like that. I like that angle, yes.
Yeah, because I feel like, I stand above because I'm paying you money. If you provide, or alternatively, if you're providing me with a service, then I want to know what that service is, because if you fall down, I'm not going to keep on with you. So I would have a get out clause. If the work's no good, that's it.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Simple.
I mean, I'm not black and white as it goes, but I do believe in standards. You know, so it's no good having, you know, 12 out of 12 builders in a row. You're probably only going to get maybe 2 that would suit, and that's the same with recruitment. You know, you get so many CVs, you get so many this and that, and there's not many that fit in the hole.
Yeah. I like the questions you were giving them as well. What was your favourite job? What was your best job? That is something that's really going to put them in the back foot. It's like, whoa, I've never been asked that before. You are going to just naturally stand out from the crowd with that kind of questioning, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're right. There's so many people that will either just pick the builder and go with it, or there'll be another group that will pick the builder from just quotes. Here's my job. I'm going to send it to 3 builders. What's the quotes? Alright, I'm going to pick the cheapest. I'm going to pick the middle one. Then there's some will be a bit more clever, and they'll actually ask to see, well, can I phone one of your clients? Can I see one of your jobs? But you're then even pushing at a whole other level.
Yeah.
You know, you're talking to them one-on-one. Okay, so talk to me. What's the biggest challenge you've had? What's your favourite job that you did?
Yeah.
I mean, that's going to make them think. They're going to remember you, aren't they?
Well, I always aim to be memorable, and the other thing about a builder is they give you a quote, right? Well, I want a breakdown. Don't give me one of your VAT kind of headed paper bits. I want to know what that quote is, and please give me the lot.
Yes, the full rundown.
If they're not going to do that, then they're not for me, because they obviously haven't done it that way.
Yes, exactly. They have just picked a number out there.
So you're trying to trip them up in some senses. Not really, but you know, you need to know that they're a standard. But then I'm tackling it from a very fierce approach in a way, because in the corporate world, you know, you have to be sure of who you're getting. But why not test it out this way? Yeah. You know, there's too many people in the world that are doing things and they don't do a good job.
I like that. Yeah. So, actual staff, if I use that term, people under us, that might not be too nice, employees, you know, maybe someone that's built their property business, that they've got people working for them. They've maybe, you know, employed some people that's doing all their admin in a wee office or home office, whatever. Is there certain things we need to bear in mind when we've got actual employees or we've outsourced to people? Is there ways we should handle them?
The best thing I think about employees these days is to create a team element of each dynamic of the group, realising that they're skilled at this and this, and bring them all together. You know, and in a sense, obviously you need them to respect you, so you need to maybe give to them the same as they're giving to you. In some senses, obviously it'd be different what you give to them, but it's like creating the team element, because that's what worked best. People like to belong. You know, so if
this tribe thing.
So for instance, they're in different places. That doesn't matter. You know, you can combine anyone. You know, in any ways, in any dynamics. You could have 2 or 3, 1 or 2, but at some point, always join them up together. Make them feel like they're worth something. Right. You see, it is quite a secret, because in a sense of motivation. Motivation of staff is key to them retention. Right. Totally. And also, you know, it's even more so if you're building your own company and you're employing them yourself. You need them to dedicate to you. You know, so you need to create some kind of relationship around them.
I like that. They actually feel they're not just doing A, B and C for you. They're actually in your team. Yes. Actually in your company's team, your company's tribe. Yeah, I like that. And finding the right people. So if it's you spoke about finding the right builder, finding the right staff, the right people to work with you and being part of that team, do you have a mindset or a philosophy on how you do that? Do you know, we do it with CVs first of all, and then I meet them, or I try them out for a couple of weeks and then I take them on? What's your angle there when you bring on people?
I prefer not to try people out. I prefer to do it the same as like you look at this. If it's an office space, like a bookkeeper or someone you need to help you, for instance, you need them to really approach you properly. You don't want a loose kind of member of staff. You need someone who's going to appear professional, you know, who's going to really show you that they're good. So that starts with a CV. Tell me about what your background is. So if I was booking a bookkeeper or a virtual or something, I want to know what their experience is, and then I would want to have a conversation with them in the form of an interview.
Right.
Nothing that's terrible, but something so that person's going to convince me that they're the one for me. If they don't do that, then it's a no.
Right.
Because there's so much competition out there now. You've got to weed it out. And so what you would do then is, once you select somebody, then you give them a month. Say, let's have a start, let's try for a month. After that, because then they feel they're on trial and they're going to do their best.
Yeah.
It's not 3 months like in the corporate world.
That's right.
You're giving them a 4-week period, which you'll pay them for, and then you know at the end whether it's a no. And if it's a no, it's a no. So you're back to square one. Because you can't afford to waste time on all of this. Taking people on board just in hopefully it's going to, you have to have a structure. You have to really appreciate that, this people will want to work for you if you have these guidelines around, and you have, like, not rules, but this is the way I like to work, this is the best way. They have respect for that kind of thing, and if they're not up to that, then they're not the right person.
Right.
I mean, if you're going to take your company to a relatively good level, you need good standard. Don't start with standard. I love to train people. I love to make them, nurture them, and if they show potential, I love that. But they have to really show me that is possible. I mean, I've had people beg me to start. Come on, I'll be the best person you've ever had. And I've smiled and given them a chance, because it's quite good to do that.
Yeah.
But you have to want to do it. If you don't prove yourself within 1 month, then this is our agreement, okay?
Right.
And you put it in writing.
So Jan, we've all got problems. We've got problems to deal with. So when it comes to that, when we have things where our staff they haven't delivered, or there's been a problem, or we just want to understand exactly where they are, because we maybe in our gut we feel as if they're slipping a little below our standards. You mentioned the word standards earlier. How do you approach that? How do you tackle those situations?
I think you have to assume, and an assumption is probably good to them, that they have got a problem that may be personal.
Right.
So now I wouldn't say that. I would just ask, let's go and have a coffee. Let's go and chat about this. Just get them on the straight and narrow again, so that they're not feeling so emotional. It's so worth it to spend time with them. And if they're valuable to you, then you should do this.
Right.
So I found in 2 recent examples that I've done this. One lady, she had a very, very unfortunate thing happen that many young women can happen to, but she still came into work, but that I immediately saw something was wrong. Right, you have to spend the time, so go have a chat, see how she is. She had to go. If they have to go, I don't mean leave the company, she has to go and get herself together. Yeah. So let them do that. Don't give them that time, because they'll give you so much back. That's going to,
so it is an investment you're doing, isn't it? You're getting a bigger return on. They're really going to show up for you because of what you've done.
Yes, they are, and in some senses it's quite good to have a staff member open up if they feel they can or want to, as opposed to you saying, oh, go and sort yourself out, and when you feel better, come back. No, can't do that, afraid. I'm quite caring, believe it or not. I'm a very caring person, and I really do have a lot of people respect myself, because if you want them, you must make the effort to keep them. It's not a one-way relationship.
Exactly.
I think that is the way around it now. I mean, I've counselled a lot of staff, and you have to imagine the value of that in a very long day of having to do tasks and everything. If you're there to help, not only on the career side, but they'll come to you as well for other reasons. So it's a whole picture.
See, yeah, it's
You're
a holistic
getting to know
thing.
Somebody, yes, it is. And I'm not saying it takes forever to do this. It's only periodically that this happens, but it's probably worth actually timetabling a regular, like every month, say, to have a face-to-face, like a coffee or something. How are you feeling? What do you think the problems are? How would you see any improvements? And get their point of view. Make them feel they're giving you their point of view.
Right.
Yes?
And that you are going to listen to them.
Yes, certainly, and especially if you action something that maybe they've suggested, because then they're feeling involved. Because time and time again, there's been so many members of staff who would say, "Well, I wish it was like this. Why doesn't she do that?" You know. So this is your chance to actually take in that person, take them into, you know, everything that you're doing. Trust them, openly trust them, give them everything that's possible, because you are investing in them as well.
Yeah.
And if for any reason it doesn't work out, I have not experienced anything that hasn't worked out in some way, then that's the way it is. I mean, staff members now don't stay as long as forever, but all you want is quality.
Yeah.
You know, you want quality commitment. You know,
there's those
things like
standards
that.
again.
I know.
Jazz standards. We've definitely caught on something here.
Well, I would definitely take my ladies out for lunch, or you know, or whatever, something to help them relax every so while. You know?
Right.
And I think it's this is the relationship thing as well. You know, and it's worth it. The thing is, I do think that when we're building our own business, we are also building a brand for ourselves, and that involves treating staff well, and believe it or not, that spreads.
Yes, of course. No, that's a good way to look at that. The actual brand, your reputation. Yeah,
well, you are, yes, because you never know. You become big. You could do anything. Word of mouth is powerful, and it can achieve for you, but it can ruin you.
Yes.
And put doubt in people. You know, so you need to be thinking about the relationship side of people.
I like that. That's excellent. Now, the last group of people I want to touch on with you, those the builders, the accountants, the lawyers, the staff, they're all, you know, it is a two-way thing, yes, but mostly they are serving to you. They're serving to you, your needs, giving you service. But of course, there's people that we serve as customers, if you like. It might be the sellers of homes that we are, you know, trying to buy and bring into our portfolio. Might be the people who are coming along to live in our serviced accommodations that we're setting up. It could be investors. We're actually, you know, working with people and pulling in their money, and we are delivering a service to them, or maybe building them a portfolio, etc. Is it a different way of working with customers, working with people who have expectations from us? Or is it the same thing, the same psychology, the same relationship?
I do think nothing's the same. Right. But if I use an example, I've got 2 houses in Oxford. I have a manager who's managing that for me. Now that's it's my investment, but effectively she's my member of staff. Right. You know, so that also is the same, because I need to build confidence in her about my stance, my standing point, and then vice versa. And we are doing really well, and we haven't even met yet. We will meet shortly, because they are not going to be automatically ringing you for things that they need, or whatever it is, unless again the relationship has been built. And it's not about tackling them, it's about sometimes sitting back and waiting, because if they're doing things for you, they're going to approach you, and that's your chance to make them feel that they're doing well. Right. And thank you so much. Really appreciate this, but you know, if I have an idea, what do you think? You know, so again, involving them. So it's still a similar thing. Yes.
Okay, there is still that two-way thing, and you're bringing out the best in people.
You are, you are very much, because also in the property game, I think, like probably others, it's a people game, and people are going to speak, and I want to. I'm getting to know all of the people in Oxford. I'll be going up there soon again, and I want people. I shake their hand and I want to talk to them about, well, how are you going to help my business? So word of mouth from this property manager. She will be telling them.
Yes.
So it's all going to go round. You know. So you need again to present this image of, you know, who you are and what you're trying to achieve, and I want to involve you, kind of.
Excellent.
Yeah.
On the last show you were on, you mentioned one of the focuses you're really going to have is service accommodation. Do you view your customers, your tenants, in a certain way, that you're providing them a service, or is there a separation? Are you going to purposefully separate yourself from the end customer, and you want a manager to deal with that all the time? What's your thoughts around there?
Well, yes. Well, at the moment, certainly, I've got a management company doing the apartment in Canary Wharf.
Right.
So there is probably no need to greet, sort the cleaning, in my perspective. Now, for someone else, you know, the letting agent kind of level, of course, that's their job. They would do that, but I want to scale my business up.
Right.
So I need that valuable time. So it's worth it to me to pay a percentage to a management company so that they do that. And especially if it's already set up. Because management companies do have set standards as well. Different ones I'm noticing, different standards, different companies. And it can really work for you. Now eventually, with my website coming on board, I will be able to take an element of control. But at the moment I'm not ready to do that. Because I want to scale up. But it's possible to change your way of operating the company, but you need to take a stance as to what is the value that creates your company to build. That's where I'm at the moment.
I like it.
You do?
Fantastic, Jan. Fantastic. People, so key to so many areas of our business, and also one of the biggest risks and the biggest headaches and the biggest problems as well to deal with. But I loved all the tidbits she gave there. That was tremendous, very helpful for our listeners. Really appreciate it, and I do thank our guest today, who has been Jan Alexander. She's flying, well, she's not flying off, she's going to be jetting off on some of our finest railways in first class as ever, aren't you? Maintaining your standards, yes? I'm getting a look, I better stop talking. Now, if you would like to connect with Jan and get in touch and maybe help you along the way in your own journey, go to thisweekinproperty.com and check out the show notes for this episode. You'll find all of Jan's details there, along with any of the links and resources we've mentioned in the show. Two other links I want you to write down: algpropertynetwork.com if you're looking for high-level networking events in your area, and also algpropertyacademy.com. And there's tons of free resources on there. If you're starting your property journey or you're just looking to scale it further, then that's the place to go. Thanks all for today. I've been your host, Richard Swan, and I'll see you in the next show.
You're listening to This Week in Property. Stay current, relevant and up to date in the world of property investment. Learn from the UK's leading property professionals and grow your property business.